politics, and politics is a hilarious thing in this country, and a lot of people just love to talk politics. And even in our faith, there's a lot of discussion of politics. This is right, this is wrong. And this discussion is going to go hopefully well above that. But one of the hilarious things when it comes to politics is my fiance is from Russia. And one time very early in our relationship, I started talking politics, and she said, "What's it matter?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Is does my voice matter at all?" And you think about it, you're like, no, because you're one out of, 200 million, 150 million that vote, something like that. I don't care if it's 80 million. One vote's just not going to make a difference in anything that we really talk about for politics. Now, if you're dealing with local things for the city official, one vote is possible that it make a difference. It's unlikely in most scenarios, but sometimes it's possible. But for large things, no, it's not going to make a single bit of difference. So does your opinion matter in the general scheme of things? No. And again, can you change anything? No, you can just kind of complain about it. That's not where I'm going with this. I just wanted to kind of throw that out. And based on that, I've kind of stepped away from that point forward. And, I certainly know in this faith that there is no person that represents me. I guarantee you there's nobody out there wearing tzitzits. There's nobody who's following the Torah and the Messiah who is is representing me. So what's it matter? But I want to get back to a comment here from the Messiah, and then I'm actually going to do a Star Wars reference, which is going to be crazy. But, so Mark 3, and starting at verse 23. We'll start with verse 23. So Jesus called them over to him and began to speak to them in parables. Parable. Now, this is a big issue because he's got it to a parable thing. So that should halt our thought process. How can Satan drive out Satan? If a kingdom is divided itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan opposes himself and is divided, he cannot stand. His end has come. It's a parable, first of all. Is his kingdom going to stand forever? No. That's the parable. So can Satan drive? Again, to drive out Satan, you're going to need the Creator coming. But let's look at things as we see them right now in our country, the United States, and many other countries around the world. Are the kingdoms against themselves? And in our particular country, our government is at war with our government. There's no question. The Republicans are at absolute war with the Democrats. I mean, they are using the legal branch of the justice and the FBI, and our government is actually at war with our own government. So can our government stand? No. Is a house divided against itself? That house cannot stand. We have some issues there, which is going to cause some problems if something doesn't change with those who have a spouse who is with an unbelieving spouse, because the house may not be able to stand. Now we're going to do the same thing because this also comes up in Matthew 12. And so in Matthew 12, Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, "Every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined, and every city or household divided against itself will not stand." If Satan drives out Satan, he's divided against himself. How then can his kingdom stand? Well, Satan's kingdom isn't going to stand. But if we look at things right now, I mean, how many of our governments are in turmoil right now because people are at protest and against the government? In France, they've been doing the Yellow Vest movement back for over, about 15 months now? They've been doing the Yellow Vest movement against the government. Chile, they are actually burning people there. It's horrifying right now in Chile. Uh, and again, we can start really listing the governments which are at war with the government. You know, we have the situation with Hong Kong. Um, and again, it is throughout the world right now. There are, in most, I shouldn't say all, I'm not going to say all, but in most governments right now, they're at war against themselves. Now, here's where my Star Wars reference comes in, and you can delete it now or turn off the video if you don't want to pull this thing. But if you have watched Star Wars at any point in time, and no, I haven't watched any of the new stuff. I don't watch any real movies anymore. But one of the things that the Emperor, the evil, does is he creates a clone army and he runs the droid army. And so he's just fighting off each side against themselves, and he's basically watching to see everything fall. That's the goal, is I'm just going to see everything fall and cause as much devastation as possible. In the United States, we have Republicans and Democrats. Both of them are owned by the corporations. The corporations own either side, and they basically say, look how one side is, or look how the other side is, and the corporations are just sitting back and watching the turmoil. You know, and buying whatever they need to buy. You know, Dole Bananas, what our government has done for that organization or that business is atrocious. You know, we're killing people so that they can make a profit. It happens all through the world like this. And so things are divided. It's going to fall. Now, is that division rising to the level right now that we're saying, okay, we're getting right there at end times? I believe that will be the case. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, only when the Antichrist is revealed do we know that is the case. Now, let's flip that for a second again, because that's the parable. So Satan is playing all these games, Christians versus Muslims. Well, he's on the side for, he wins either side. He's just playing them off. Now let's look at the Messiah and how his kingdom is run. Monarchy. Everything comes from down. Is there any division there? If there's a division, you're tossed out. And he says that that's the Torah. If you're wanting to do your own thing, we'll cast you out of our people. We're not handling division. Things come down. It is what it is. It's an authority-based structure. Nobody's going to unseat the creator of the universe. It's not happening. So the creator runs it, always will run it, always will run it. There is no division. So, just an interesting thing for that parable, and playing around with the politics on it.